Welcome back, friends. I'm Sue Sabella, your Great Minds teacher, and I'm so excited to continue to dive into why do leaves change color? Today, you'll need handout 21A, the details collection strips, handout 21B, topic sentences and details, your journal, scissors, and your pencil. So pause here to gather what you need and just hit play when you're ready to continue. Why do leaves change color is informational text. I see the word science, and I also read the sentence, let's read and find out. When I see those together, that makes me think as a reader that this is informational text. I will say that the cover of this book is a little tricky. Because the cover does not have a photograph, it can be a little tricky. So that's why, as a reader, you need to look a little bit closer, and those words in the corner can help us. Today, we're going to read sections of this text closely to determine or figure out what is happening in this text. Since this is informational text, we'll use buttons and bags to help us think about details and main topic. Before we look for key details in the main topic, let's explore a key term from the text that can help us better understand the change that happens to leaves. Here's the word absorb. Let's echo read the sentence with absorb. And remember, echo read means I'll read the sentence first, and then you can read the sentence out loud. The green color in the leaves helps them to absorb or hold sunlight. Now it's your turn to read the sentence. Authors of informational text often define a new word right after and in the same sentence. Let's take a look again. Absorb or hold sunlight. Absorb means to hold, and the author helped us as readers by putting that simple definition right after the word. That's called a context clue. If we were to look up the word absorb in a dictionary, we could also find this definition. Absorb also means to soak up. Please grab handout 21A and your pencil. And at the very top of the handout, even above your name, please write read pages 9 through 12. Pause here to do that, and then just hit play when you're ready to continue. We're going to read pages 9 through 12 closely so we can learn what happens to leaves and trees during each of the seasons. As I read page 9, I'm reading with this purpose in mind. I would like to gather a detail about what happens to leaves or trees during the spring. So you can help me. As I'm reading, listen carefully for what happens to leaves and trees during the spring. Here we go. Just a few weeks ago, all the leaves were green. Back in the spring, the tiny new leaves uncurled from their buds. I heard something about the tiny new leaves in the spring. The sentence was, back in the spring, the tiny new leaves uncurled from their buds. That's a detail that I can add to my handout. As you can see, right next to the first button, I wrote down the page number where I located or found this detail. This detail was about new leaves in the spring and that they uncurled from their buds. Let's do one more together. And on page 11, I want you to listen with this purpose in mind. What's happening to the leaves in the trees during the summer? Here we go. Leaves are very important to the tree. They make a kind of sugar that is the tree's food. Leaves need sunlight, water, and air to make this food. The leaves work to feed the tree all summer long. Wow, that's an important detail to remember. The leaves work to feed the tree all summer long. I need to jot that down on my handout. Pause here to check my work. Check to make sure I've jotted down the page number and also details about leaves during the summer season. As I read page 12, jot down details about what's happening to leaves and trees in autumn and in winter. In the fall, many things are changing. In many places, there is a change in the weather. There are changes in light and temperature. Inside the leaves, there will be many changes too. All of these changes bring about the beautiful colors of fall. In the fall, there are fewer hours of sunlight each day. The change in the light tells the tree to get ready for winter. Winter is a time of rest for the tree. When winter comes, the tree will have to survive with less water and sunlight. Feel free to pause and to scroll back on the timeline if you'd like to listen to it again. And then pause to jot down what you learned about leaves and trees in the winter. And then just hit play when you're ready to continue. Pause here to read the chart to yourself before we review it together. And then just hit play when you're ready to continue. As we review the chart, and as you listen to each of the details, I want you to start to think about, what do all these details have in common, especially across the seasons? What's happening? What's the big idea? Ready? Here we go. In autumn, leaves turn different colors. Light and temperature change. Leaves die and fall. In the winter, the trees rest and there is less water and sun. In the spring, new leaves come from buds, and in the summer, leaves are green and leaves feed trees and help them grow. Pause here to think about the big idea or to discuss it with a learning partner, and then just hit play when you're ready to continue. What's happening to the leaves and trees across the seasons? What's the main topic that holds all these details together? Share your idea with your learning partner or shout it out loud to me. There's always more than one possibility, but one possibility for the main topic is this. Leaves and trees change a lot in autumn, and all of the details that we've captured in the chart below support that main topic. Today we'll learn how to end or conclude informative paragraphs. Pause here to grab handout 21B and scissors, and just hit play when you're ready to continue. Today, we'll only be working with the sentences in Exemplar 1. At this time, cut out the sentences on the dotted lines and place them on a table in front of you or on the floor in front of you, so you'll be able to move them around as we read together. Pause here to cut out the sentences in exemplar 1, and then when you're ready, just hit play to continue. Here are my sentence strips all cut up, and I'd love to think through these together. Before I start moving them around, I'm going to read each sentence and pause to think, is it a detail, or is it a main topic, or could it be a conclusion? Here's the first sentence in our mixed up pile. Finally, it's time to jump into the piles of leaves. There's two things that I notice when I read this sentence. I notice the sequencing word finally. So that would belong toward the end of a paragraph, definitely not at the beginning. It's time to jump into a pile of leaves. That sounds very small, like a detail, not an essential idea that would tie many details together. So I'm thinking this is a piece of evidence, but it's evidence that would belong near the end of a paragraph. Here's the next sentence in my mixed up paragraph. Fall leaves create opportunities for work and play. That could be a big idea, an essential idea. I'm going to tuck that thought away that this could be the topic statement for the paragraph. It is definitely not a small button. It could be a bag. Pause here to tell your learning partner what you think it could be. Do you think it's a detail, or do you think it's a bigger idea that could tie the details together? Just hit play when you're ready to continue. Here's the third sentence in our mixed up paragraph. Working and playing with leaves can be fun. I'm wondering, could it be a topic statement or a conclusion, or could it be a detail? I need to keep reading, and I need to keep thinking about it. Here's the fourth sentence in our mixed up paragraph. First, the leaves fall off the trees. There's two things that I notice here. I notice the sequencing word first. I'm also thinking that this is a detail and it's small like a button. So I'm thinking this is a piece of evidence in the paragraph. And since it has the word first at the beginning, I'm thinking it goes toward the top of the paragraph. Here's the last sentence in our mixed up paragraph. Then it's time to rake the leaves. Again, there's two things that I notice. I noticed it begins with a sequencing word, and that word is then. I'm also thinking that this is just one thing that you could do outside in the fall, raking leaves. So this is probably a detail. It's small like a button. Now that we've had a chance to read through each sentence, it's time to put our paragraph together. I'm going to put the evidence together first. First, the leaves fall off the trees. Then it's time to rake the leaves. I'm going to wrap up my evidence with the sentence that begins with the word finally. This is my last piece of evidence. Now I need to reread the two sentences that I have left. And I need to think about which one could be the topic statement and which one could be the conclusion. Which one do you think should be the topic statement? And which one could be a conclusion that would remind the readers what the paragraph is about? Pause here to reread the sentences and to try them out in the paragraph, and also discuss them with the learning partner. Which one would be a topic statement and which one could be the conclusion? Just hit play when you're ready to continue. Here is the possible informative paragraph. Remember that the topic statement and conclusion are usually so similar that you could even switch them around. But this is one way that we could build the paragraph. Fall leaves create opportunities for work and play is a main idea or a topic statement that ties the details together. Working and playing with leaves can be fun, could be a conclusion that reminds the reader what the paragraph is about. We can now add conclusion to our informative writing anchor chart. The conclusion reinforces what the paragraph is about, and it may also restate the topic statement, which means it may sound very similar to the topic statement. And it comes at the end, where the topic statement comes at the beginning. And notice how the chart is set up. The topic statement comes at the top, just like it would in the paragraph. The evidence is in the middle and supports the topic statement, and the conclusion comes at the end, near the bottom of a paragraph. Pause here to review the chart, and then just hit play when you're ready to continue. Since you're so observant, you probably saw the check mark in the corner. Here's an opportunity for you to share your new learning about conclusions with your classroom teacher. At this time, grab your Insync journal and jot this question into your journal. And then take some time to think about this question and write a response to the question. What does a conclusion do? Pause the video here so you can work in your journal and you can think about this question and then write the answer to your question, and then hit play when you're ready to continue. How does change impact people in nature? Well, you learned so much today that can help you answer that essential question. I will see you very soon, my friends.